Moin moin und herzlich willkommen zu diesem speziell gelagerten Sondervideo, das mir persönlich ganz besonders am Herzen liegt. Denn im Rahmen der Promotour zu Netflix neuer Serie Daredevil habe ich tatsächlich die Chance bekommen, ein Interview zu führen mit dem Showrunner des Ganzen, Steven DeKnight, und Daredevil himself, dem Hauptdarsteller Charlie Cox. Und eigentlich hätte ich bei Interview wohl so Gänsefüßchen machen müssen, denn, sind wir ganz ehrlich, ich habe mich so ein bisschen eher durch meine Fragen gestammelt. Weil das war das allererste Mal, dass ich in so einer Situation war und ich wusste gar nicht, wie das alles so abläuft. Möglicherweise merkt man das in dem Material, was ihr gleich zu sehen bekommt. Aber wie gesagt, ich hoffe trotzdem, ihr habt eine Menge Spaß dabei. Wollt ihr das jeweils andere Interview sehen, könnt ihr da machen, das werde ich da einfügen. Und wenn ihr nochmal gucken wollt, was der Roger und ich zu der Serie meinten, könnt ihr da Klickety-Klack machen. Ja, ihr wisst, wie das funktioniert. Ansonsten wünsche ich euch viel Spaß mit dem Interview. Und entschuldige mich schon mal vorher, dass das Ganze nur auf Englisch ist. Nachvollziehbar, dass das Original nur auf Englisch ist, aber ich hatte auch noch nicht die Zeit, irgendwie Untertitel dafür zu machen. Das könnte noch ein bisschen dauern, wenn ich überhaupt jemals dazu komme. Schreibt mir doch mal in die Kommentare, wie ihr damit klarkommt und ob ich vielleicht, so Gott bewahre, sollte ich jemals wieder die Chance bekommen, ein Interview zu führen, lieber gleich denn irgendwie versuchen sollte, das auf Deutsch zu übersetzen, bevor ich das online stelle. Könnt ihr mir mal was dazu sagen? In diesem Sinne, der Blitz hat euch lieb. Weitermachen!
So, Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man in the middle, and Thor. Okay, great. Yeah.
There's already a place for you.
Yeah.
At my heart.
That's funny.
Das hatte ich mir schon gedacht. So, since this is actually my second interview,
Yeah.
not only for the day, but all around. First of all, I have to say congratulations to the first season of Daredevil. I loved it very much, and congratulations to the full season pickup of a second season.
Oh, thank you so much.
You did great.
Thank you.
So, I have some questions prepared. Probably you heard them 100 times before, but there we are. How did you get involved with the project at all? And
I just auditioned. I auditioned for it, and I put myself on tape in New York, and sent that off. And then I heard that they were interested in me, and I had a Skype with with Jeff Loeb, the head of Marvel Television.
Yeah.
And then I was allowed to read the scripts, the first two scripts.
Okay.
And then I became really, really excited because I thought the scripts were phenomenal. I thought the content was incredibly high quality and also unlike anything Marvel had done before. And then I went into quite a grueling audition process and screen test, and it took a long time. But finally, I wore them down.
okay, because I heard the rumor that actually Joey Quesada, editor-in-chief, 2 years ago,
Yes, then I heard.
was actually, he said he found already the Daredevil.
Yeah, but
There
I didn't find this out until I'd already got the part.
Okay.
So it was like after months of trying to get the part, I heard this story that Joe had emailed 2 years before saying he thought I'd be right for it. So.
But actually, so you had to audition for it, and how did you prepare for the audition? With the blindness.
Yeah, I mean, with the blindness, I just did a very makeshift kind of, I kind of tried to figure out what that would feel like and what that would be like.
Okay.
But really, for the audition, I knew that if they were interested in me, then they were willing to do something a bit different with the character.
Okay.
Because I don't think I'm your obvious choice for that role. And so I kind of decided that I wanted to try and find a superhero that was really, really human. Someone who, Daredevil's known as the man without fear. And I thought, well, maybe the label, the man without fear, is something that's given to him by the public because of his actions.
Mm.
But maybe actually he's very afraid, like the rest of us. He's very afraid, but he knows what is, he believes he knows what is right. He believes he knows what he has to do. And he decides to, on a daily basis, to find the courage to do that.
Okay. And did you know the character before the comics?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Never read a Daredevil comic before before I got the job.
But now you've read
yes.
some.
Yeah. I've read them all now, I think.
Okay, so actually, did Steven DeKnight give you pointers which stories you should read?
Steven and Jeff and Joe Quesada, yeah. So, I mean, I started with, obviously, Frank Miller's Man Without Fear. That was the first one I read. And then I went back and read early Frank Miller with Klaus Janson.
Okay.
I obviously read Daredevil Yellow, Jeff Loeb's Daredevil Yellow, and I read Joe Quesada's Guardian Devil.
Yes.
And then, I went back, I read the first Stanley and Bill Everett and, the first 20, 30 issues to get a sense of them. And then when we were getting closer to filming, I really started to get very familiar with the Bendis Malieve stuff, of the 2000s. I just felt like that was really, in terms of the tone of the show and the kind of how adult themed it is, I just felt like it was it read very similar to the scripts that I was reading. And so that's where I ended up kind of sitting with a lot of the stuff.
Okay, so you probably will. Yeah, I was just waiting for the minutes. Physical training. Forget about that. So since you came in like an outsider with fresh eyes on the whole concept of the character, could you bring something to the table, something new, or was it more that your vision was the same as was already on the page?
Well, no, that's a really good question. I think that because I'd never read any Daredevil comics, when I got the job, I didn't have any kind of preconceived ideas about
who the
character.
The TV film.
I didn't know the film.
Hulk.
I didn't.
Not
Incredible
that film.
Hulk.
The film on the 80s, Incredible Hulk series.
Yeah, when he comes in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I'd never seen that. I didn't see the film. I'd never read a comic, so I had a completely open mind.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I was able to read the scripts and decide from the scripts who the character was, and then I could go and find the comics which best related to those scripts, and as I say, I ended up in the kind of the Bendis Malieve area.
Yeah.
But I think that when I first got the job, I was excited and a little nervous, but mostly excited and mostly kind of ready to. I wanted to get going and I wanted to start the whole process. But as I started reading comics. And then we, as a show, we went to Comic-Con, and then, people found out that I was in the show, and people write things on the internet. And then as that went on and on and on, I became more anxious. I became aware of how big the fan base is and how important these characters are to so many people. And I became more kind of like overwhelmed by that sensation. And it was almost like I started off and I wasn't nervous, and by the end of the show, I was terrified.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
The thing is, for me, it was I actually needed this to be successful, to be as good as it is, because I want to see the other series. Jessica Jones.
Exactly.
And actually, there's also a question: do you know anything about that you will be within some of these upcoming?
No, in the movies.
Yeah, perhaps in the movies. No. There is a larger world there.
Yeah, I mean. The answer,
right.
Still there, or just here. The answer is I don't know.
Okay.
I would love for that to be the case. I would love for Daredevil and me to be involved in one of the movies or one of the other shows, but at this point I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah. So seconds probably.
You can ask a short one.
Okay, there's a short one. So you read all the other comics, and is there a storyline that you really wanted to do in the second season, perhaps, or introduce a character? Is there something that you are saying, okay, I read this right now? Oh, there's a short question, I see.
Yeah.
And you want to do that?
So, and again, I must preface this by saying I have no idea what's going to happen in the second season. One of my favorite books is Daredevil Yellow, Jeff Loeb's Daredevil Yellow, with Tim Sale, and I find the way that story is told with Karen and Matt is it's like such a beautiful love story, and it's for a love story like that to exist in retrospect, but also in a comic book is so profound, it's so beautiful, it was so moving to me, and so I would love to see some of that explored in the second season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Nice talking to you.